Hi, I'm Mike from High Healer, and today I'm going to share with you some simple strategies on how you can use the High Healer to manage acute plantar fasciitis. So one of the most effective ways to manage acute plantar fasciitis is through cryotherapy. So we're going to take that soapstone and we're going to place it in the freezer overnight. So now that you've gotten the soapstone nice and cold, we want to make sure that you're using the right part of it. So as you can see, we've got a relatively flat part here, and if we flip the stone over, we've got a pointy part. So with someone suffering from acute plantar fasciitis, we want to use the flat part to make sure that it's not too aggressive when pressing down on the stone. Now, just like any exercise regimen, it's important that we warm up, and we're going to do exactly that with the High Healer. So we're going to start with our heel on the ground, and our toes are going to be directly on top of that stone. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drive up as high as we can on the tippy toe, and then we're going to come back down and tap our heel. We're going to try to take that ankle through a full range of motion. We're going to perform 15 to 20 of those to make sure that everything's nice and warm and that we're improving blood flow to the foot and to the lower limb. We're going to start with our heel towards the bottom, and we want to make sure that the plantar fascia is right on top of that soapstone. Now from here, we're going to have a little bit of slight pressure down into the stone. Now for some people, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Now we expect that, but we want to make sure that it's not incredibly painful. So a little discomfort is okay, but if it's really, really painful, you're going to have to back off a little bit. So now that we have a little bit of pressure down into the soapstone, we want to grip with our toes on these little ridges, and we're going to walk ourselves down to the opposite end of the High Healer, and it's going to look like this. We're going to have that slight pressure. We're going to grip and pull, grip and pull, grip and pull, grip and pull, grip and pull. Now, once you get to the bottom, we're just going to repeat that again. We want to start right at the bottom of the plantar fascia, and again, we're going to have some slight pressure, and we're going to grip and pull, grip and pull. And we're going to repeat that for about 3 minutes. Now, when you're doing this, you may notice that the bottom of your foot may get tired, or you may even feel like it's going to cramp. If that happens, you're just going to have to back off a little bit and not be so aggressive with the movement. You're going to start in the seated position with your knee at 90 degrees. The ball of your foot is going to be directly on top of the soapstone. You're going to apply pressure into the stone for 5 seconds, and then you're going to move backwards about a half of an inch, and you're going to repeat that process until you get to the heel. Repeat this process 3 to 4 times. There are 2 very important guidelines to follow when you're stretching. 1, never move into pain, and 2, take it slow. We're going to start in the seated position with your knee at 90 degrees. The goal with all of these stretches is to get the bottom of the High Healer to touch the ground. We're going to perform 2 to 3 sets of 30 seconds. The next step is to stretch your calf in a staggered stance. When you're doing this, it's important that you keep your posture tall for the duration of the stretch. We're going to step forward into the High Healer, and again, try to keep our heel touching the ground. Perform 2 to 3 sets of 30-second holds. The next step is to perform a calf stretch in a perfectly symmetrical stance. We're going to step into the High Healer with 1 foot, and as we do this, stay nice and tall, making sure that our hips don't move backwards. We're going to perform 2 to 3 sets of 30-second holds.